Hi everyone, it's Piotr Orzechowski. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Infermedica. And today I had a great pleasure talking to Daniel Cardinal, the head of innovation at Techniker Krankenkasse. Daniel is an amazing person. He will walk you through on what's currently happening in healthcare innovation in Germany. We'll also talk about how the head of innovation looks at technology, how he evaluates different vendors. So I think it's a great conversation also for startups, but also for everybody interested in learning what's currently happening in the German market. Today, we have a great pleasure to meet with Daniel Cardinal, head of innovation at Techniker Krankenkasse, the largest statutory insurance company in Germany. Is that right?
That's right. We have about 12 million insurees, as of 72 million insurees in total in Germany.
Oh, wow. So, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. I would love to pick your brain on a couple of things that are happening in Germany. And I think there is a lot happening right now, such as the primary care reform, the role of digital health, the role of AI. So can we dive into it?
Of course we can.
Perfect. So let's start with this topic. For somebody who's not that familiar maybe with what's happening in German health system, there's a lot of discussion regarding primary care and the reforms that are happening. From your perspective, what does it mean? Can you bring us briefly into what's overall happening in Germany right now?
Yeah, we got a sort of cultural and absolute change in the system, because Germans in the healthcare system in Germany, they were used to getting everything everywhere whenever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could go to a general practitioner or specialist whenever you like, 10 times a day.
Oh, wow.
Nobody cares. It's all covered. And nowadays, because of the demographic change, we're in big trouble and we have system pressure. So what we see is you don't get appointments anymore. And that's what people when they talk to us as an insurance company, they say, I don't get appointments. I want to get access to the system. So what we need is we need a kind of navigation through the system. And this changed in the last couple of years. As of 2024, when I was on a stage, I wouldn't have dared to talk about patient navigation, because I would have been booed off the stage. And now, just 2 years later, I can sit here and talk to you and say, of what we need is a primary care system, and we need patient navigation, because the need is so huge. People really have trouble getting appointments in the system.
So is that the point of friction that patients see right now? Is like they used to have like a availability freedom, and now it's harder to...
I wouldn't have to pay anything. I could go anywhere I liked, and I would get an appointment. And this changed dramatically.
Okay, so as the reforms evolve, what are you expected to see? Where do you believe the changes will have the biggest impact in Germany in the next few years? Do you think these reforms are gonna move the needle?
They will definitely. What we need is two different things.
Yeah.
First of all, we need to improve access to the system. Not just felt, but factual access to the system. And the second thing we really need is better clinical pathways, which lead to better clinical outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Because outcome quality in Germany, first of all, it isn't measured. And second of all, it's like the average age expectation in Germany is like 81.2 years, which is really low compared to the rest of the EU. So what we need is personalized clinical pathways, good access at the first contact point to the system, and this should be based on actual medical need and not on my felt exposure.
No, I have many questions around that. So thank you, Daniel. I'll get into this as well. But I'm you're observing innovation in Germany, but also you have exposure to what's happening in other countries. How do you feel? What's your gut feeling? How does Germany and innovation and innovation stands compared to other countries in the EU, maybe your neighbors, maybe somewhere else?
Actually, I think right now we're doing pretty good. And it's hard to say that as a German, because normally we just look at ourselves and say we are so bad and we are an old nation and we can't move. That's for digitalization in healthcare. Right now, it seems kind of untrue, because things are really moving and things are really scaling up. Like, for instance, we have an electronic patient record for every statutory health insured person in Germany. That means we have 72 million electronic patient records. And we built this in a record time. Once we really choose to do it, we can do it. And the speed is scaling up. And I'm pretty sure that because of the need that the people feel the need of a change. And once we are at that point and we got the technology to really improve access and to really let the people see that things are getting better, considering their personal healthcare issues, it will scale.
It sounds you've built like the critical infrastructure.
We did.
To enable the changes. And I think it's not the first time you innovate in the European scale, because DIGA was also something where Germany led, right?
Yeah, right.
Perfect. So getting maybe back into the access and care pathways that we mentioned, there's this term, the notion of front door to healthcare.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how do you think about what front door means for you in that context? And who should own such a front door? Like, if there's something that guides patients who are seeking care to the right point of care, to the right pathway, should that be statutory insurer? Should that be maybe government more broadly, digital platforms, vendors, patients themselves? How do you see it?
Working in the German system, this is a high-risk question for me that you're asking me there. But to be honest, I think at least insurers should be one front door to the system. And we will see legislation this fall, which includes that we as insurers can provide a front door in our app. And front door in that context means your first contact point to the system. If we are talking about an assessment of your health status prior to the first appointment in the system, this means front door to me, like first contact point, where your medical needs are really identified, and then you enter the systems. Why should it be the insurers? In my opinion, it's pretty clear. We got a legal fulfillment. We have to do, like, healthcare has to be. We have to provide healthcare to our customers, which is sufficient, appropriate, and economically viable.
Absolutely.
And we are non-profit, so we got no economic interests in doing this. And we are highly regulated by the government. So who should do it if not us?
Yeah, you have I would call it the trust, but also social license in people who trust you, that you are the right party to deliver such platform, I believe. Excellent. And so when you're thinking about digital assessment tools specifically, there are different kinds of tools. How do you perceive the value today? What are your hopes in the future? In other words, what can it solve for you? Is it about maybe limiting unnecessary utilization, maybe supporting better diagnosis, clinicians, helping manage access to care in other ways? What's the takeaway, or what's something you hope to measure now or in the future in terms of how digital health assessment provides?
I would say hopes couldn't be high enough, because all the things you mentioned should be provided and can be provided by digital assessment. All of the things. First of all, right now we are at the tipping point, and we need to do something about the access and availability of appointments.
Yes.
And digital assessment can match the needs with providing. So that's what needs to be done right now. And the next steps are all the other things you mentioned. You know, in my opinion, in a couple of years, we will be at a point where we get a data-driven, personalized healthcare, all of us. So you enter my front door, I provide you with an assessment, and I show you the possibilities, from self-care up to hospitalization in the next 20 minutes.
Yes.
I don't care. It will be all in there. We got one huge issue, and that's liability of the system. Because right now, liability, disappointingly, leads to a point where most of contacts really, in the end, lead to an appointment. And we need to definitely change this based on medical knowledge.
So what you're saying is that currently the systems in place might be overly cautious, is what you mean? And So they're like maybe shifting the final responsibility maybe more on the patient, while you think that it should be more recognized by the payer, by the system, or is it also how you design the actual system?
I guess right now it's by design and by liability nature. But the good news is we can change this, because if it will become a statutory system in Germany pretty soon. And once it is that, we can talk about all the other things, because then we can really navigate the patient, customer, the citizen through the system, and the system will be liable for the clinical pathway and not the single doctor or the single product or the single software.
Absolutely. Right. So Daniel, the other question I have for you is, as a head of innovation at TK, you look at so many different vendors, startups, people who want to present their idea solution to you. I'm very curious how you evaluate those solutions. What's in your checklist when it comes to vendors? And it's not only about digital assessment tools, but overall technology that you approach.
First of all, you need to have some knowledge of the German system, which is really complicated. And we really appreciate if someone shows up who already knows how he could get reimbursement. And the second point is come with low expectations. And low expectations in that context means start small, scale up. If you come with the expectation, and we do see this quite often, that startups come and say, I want to be reimbursed by 70 million insurers of the German statutory health insurance. It's not going to happen. It's a very long run. It's a long distance run. So if you start small, you scale up, and then one day you will be reimbursed by every GKV. That's the way you do it.
Perfect. No, I love it. And when it comes to AI specifically, I guess you must be looking at many AI companies, AI products. Is there like any AI specific checklist that you also have?
Honestly, right now we don't.
No,
it's just that we are still scanning the market and do not really. What we are looking for is an AI which is safe regarding the European legislation, and that's most important. If you're a hyperscaler and you run your AI on an US-American hyperscale system, you're in trouble right now.
So this is, I guess, very important advice for companies out there. So data residency, certification as a medical device, if this is
medical device certification, C5 certification.
Okay, perfect. And as always, understanding of the German market, as you said, having moderate expectations, but to think about growing the partnership over time and developing.
Be ambitious, but start moderate.
Yeah. Perfect. Daniel, thank you so much. That's been great pleasure listening to you, and thank you for sharing your great insights and advice. Thank you for the time with us, and we wish you like the best time in Amsterdam.
You too. Thank you.